It's now time for Remember When with Uncle John. John Guess, Ouachita County's resident storyteller and local historian. Sit back now and enjoy a walk down memory lane as John recalls the days of yesteryear in his own unique way. You never know, some of it might even be true. So here's Uncle John, along with his trusty sidekick, Kelly Blair.
Back on Remember When with Uncle John. Well, here we are at the start of a brand new week, off and running out of the gate, just like all them horsies down at Oaklawn, or maybe all the race cars over at Prescott Raceway. Speaking of Prescott Raceway, you know they're one of our great sponsors on the Remember When with Uncle John show. You want to go by and see some great action, man? Head on over to the Prescott Raceway. Everybody knows where it's at, 5121 Highway 53. But you know, as you're going into Prescott, you see it right over there on the right, man. Check them out at PrescottRaceway.net. That's a website, or find them on Facebook. Big races coming up in the next couple of weeks you don't want to miss out on, or if nothing else, just give them a call, 887-0336. Ask for Jackie Lewis and tell him Kelly and Uncle John sent you.
And we got ProMan Ambulance. Give them fine folks a call at 1-800-634-0436. Serving Randolph, Lawrence, Ashley, Union, Dallas, and Calhoun County. Get signed up on their Priority Membership Ambulance Care Program.
No doubt, because it's better to have them and not need them
than need them and not have them.
Also, Sherwin-Williams House Paint right here in Camden, 315 Jefferson Street to be exact. Give Greg Bradshaw and his staff a call when you get ready to do some of those painting projects at the house. Some of you, summertime, you might think now's the perfect opportunity to get the baby room ready or, redo that den we've been talking about or whatever. But they probably got a couple of things figured out you hadn't thought about just yet. Check in with them and say, do I need one of these? How about one of those? They're not going to oversell you. They're not going to give you anything that you don't need, but they'll keep you from having to come back and forth 3 or 4 different times. Get it all in one-stop shopping. That's what it's all about right there.
Absolutely.
All right, John. Well, hey, here we are on, what is this, June 13th? I don't know, nothing going on June 13th. That I know. Flag Day's tomorrow, but, there's nothing going on today, is it?
Well, June 13th, 1982 was a sad day in a lot of folks' lives.
Oh, going back a minute, okay.
A good friend of ours, Mr. Billy Pat Mullins, born and raised on Baker Street, right over here a couple of blocks from us, off of Tate Street over here. Worked out the paper mill, and I won't go into detail about what happened to him, but he got shot and killed and murdered out here at the retreat.
Mercy.
Terrible day, terrible. It was Saturday night. Now, I was working on the oil rig. I was out in the Gulf of Mexico, and the next morning my little girl that I was married to at that time called me and told me about it. I've heard a lot of stories about what happened. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the outcome on things. I was told that he had just worked off of evening shift and rode out to the retreat and was standing out front with some of his friends. And there was some words passed to some folks going in, and he was shot and killed.
Good grief.
But I don't remember him that way. The weekend before that, we had a birthday party for a good friend of ours up at White Oak Lake or at the Little Grand Canyons. Let me tell you a little bit about Billy Pat. When I was, my cousin Mike Oliver moved to Fairview in about 1967 and moved in the same neighborhood, and he met Pat pretty quick, and I met him not long after that. And, of course, after we got to be teenagers, he was 3 years older than me, but after we got to be teenagers coming to Camden, we all run around together. Spicer's Pool Hall used to be over here on North Street. Billy Pat could ride a 10-speed bicycle on the back wheel the length of North Street.
Holy cow.
And, of course, he would be a great asset if he was still here today because he was a Harley-Davidson man.
Hey, absolutely.
And he loved them Harley-Davidsons, loved motorcycles. Just a fine fella. He was a real biker. He wasn't a pretender. He wasn't a wannabe. He was a real biker.
Bona fide.
Bona fide. As my good friend John Stewart said, he was Mr. Too Cool.
There you go.
And I just want to remember him. It's been 40 years ago. I can still remember his laugh. I remember the good times we shared the weekend before he was tragically murdered. I think about him a lot. He's buried over in Memorial Park. His tombstone's got a Harley-Davidson chopper on it.
Oh, wow.
That my good friend Gary Stifler engraved in his tombstone for him, who grew up in the same neighborhood with him. But just wanted to take a minute to remember Billy Pat. It's been 40 years. But, they say as long as as long as somebody mentions your name, you never die.
You never die. You're always around.
In the last 40 years, his name has came up a lot of times.
Absolutely.
And
there
just
you go.
Wanted to say that I think about him a lot, and I miss him, and I think about a lot of times how different things would be if he's still here.
No doubt about it. Hey, that's going to wrap up Remember When with Uncle John. Hey, we do want to remind everybody, though, if you've got some friends and family that say, man, I would love to listen to Uncle John, I just can't get up quite that early to hear it on the radio, tell them to go find our podcast. You should be able to find it on the Radio Works Facebook page, or you can also find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and some other great formats like that. Be sure to look for Remember When with Uncle John. If you just search for Remember When, man, you're going to have several hundred, maybe 1,000 of them come up. Remember When with Uncle John, though, right here in Camden, can get you in the right direction.
And I want to invite everybody out tonight to the once-a-month fellowship at the Baptist Church in Chittister. Starts about 6:30. We'll have a good meal. We'll have a little short message from a good speaker. Everybody's invited, all the men. It's a men's fellowship once a month, second Monday night of the month, Chittister Baptist Church.
There you go. We'll see you again tomorrow, John.
See you next week, Kelly. See you tomorrow, Kelly. I'm sorry.
You've been listening to Remember When with Uncle John on Y95. This broadcast can be heard each weekday morning at 6:45 on South Arkansas's favorite station, Y95.